the fuck? I know you killed my son.
It wasn't me.
You're lying.
I swear on my girl's life. I ain't killed.
Well, if you didn't do it...
No, please. No.
I know. Who did?
No.
The synopsis for episode 11 doesn't sugarcoat anything. It warns us that Alicia is turning up the heat, and that heat is aimed directly at Bakari. After the last episode, things hit a dangerous point. Alicia found out that Bakari has been hiding the truth about Rob's murder, and she didn't take it lightly. She cut his scholarship, kicked him to the curb, and told him straight up, "If you don't tell me the truth, I'll kill you myself." That wasn't just a threat, it was a promise. And now, in the new trailer, we see just how serious things are. Alicia confronts Bakari again, this time pushing harder, demanding to know if Nuck pulled the trigger. Bakari's face says it all. He's scared, but not just scared of Alicia. He's terrified of what will happen if he betrays Nuck. And that's where the pressure cooker explodes. On one side, you've got Alicia, broken by grief and fueled by revenge. On the other, Nuck, unpredictable and violent, ready to silence anyone who might expose him. And right in the middle is Bakari, a kid who made one bad decision and now has nowhere to hide. But the clock's ticking, and there are only two ways this ends. Bakari confesses, or Bakari gets buried. The trailer gives us a moment where Bakari is lying on a couch, eyes wide, muttering that someone's going to kill him. It's raw, it's desperate, it's real. You can feel the weight of it pressing down on him, like he finally understands there's no way out. If he tells the truth, Nuck will come for him. If he keeps quiet, Alicia will. And this isn't a maybe, this is a certainty. Someone is going to pay for Rob's death, and Alicia doesn't care who it is. Now, let's think about the bigger picture. Bakari has always struggled with loyalty. He looked up to Nuck, depended on him, saw him as protection in a world that never gave him safety. But now, that loyalty is poison. Everyone around him is either turning on each other or getting caught in the crossfire. Jake already distanced himself from Reggie. The streets are shifting, and Bakari knows it. The moment he saw Jake cut off his own brother, that should have been the wake-up call. That should have told him that loyalty doesn't mean dying for someone who'd never do the same for you. And the synopsis confirms Bakari gets a wake-up call, which tells us one thing. The guilt is finally getting to him. But the truth? It might be too late. The trailer doesn't show us who dies, but the tension is thick. Every second that Bakari stays silent, the risk of someone else getting caught in the storm increases. Alicia isn't going to stop. She doesn't care about street codes or crew. Loyalty to her son is gone. Her world shattered. And if Bakari doesn't speak up, she's ready to destroy whatever's left, starting with him. What makes this even more intense is that Bakari has no allies left. He's isolated. No one's standing in front of him to take the bullet. No one's trying to save him. He's realizing that the truth has a cost, but silence does too. And either way, it's coming for him fast. The way Alicia's being written now, she's a force. She's not the same woman we met seasons ago. She's methodical, calm on the outside, but every move she makes is calculated. She's not going to scream and lose control. She's going to watch him squirm and then strike when it hurts the most. That's why this episode feels like a turning point, not just for Bakari, but for the Chi as a whole. Because once the truth about Rob's murder comes out, it's going to split everything wide open. It's going to shift alliances, break families, and start a new war. And if Bakari's the one who lets that truth out, he won't live long enough to see what happens next. But maybe that's the point. Maybe this is his redemption, his chance to do something right before the darkness swallows him whole. Whether or not he takes it, that's the suspense we're all holding on to. And it's about to explode in episode 11. Asterisk, while all eyes are on Bakari and Alicia, there's another dangerous storm brewing, one that could explode from the inside out. Let's talk about Candace. From the moment Reggie moved in with her after Vic and Jake threw him out, things have been shifting. Slowly, quietly, but now, the trailer and synopsis reveal something that changes everything. Candace is being recruited for a dangerous side job. And if you've been paying attention, you already know what that means. Toussaint walks straight up to Alicia and drops a bombshell. Candace is Reggie's girl, and that makes her the perfect pawn. Alicia doesn't miss an opportunity. She's been 3 steps ahead of everyone else this entire season. If she wants to get to Reggie, using Candace is the fastest way to do it. And Toussaint knows it. But here's where things get really risky. Candace isn't built for this kind of game. She's been riding the edge of Reggie's world, but hasn't fully jumped into it. She cares about him clearly, but this isn't just about love anymore. It's about survival. It's about power. It's about blood. Alicia can offer her money. She can pressure her emotionally. She can even make it look like helping her is the only way to keep Reggie safe. And that's where the manipulation gets deadly. Because if Candace agrees to help set Reggie up, even just a little bit, Reggie will know he's too smart. We've already seen what he did to test his crew, sending out fake information to see who'd leak it. And guess what? They fell for it. Hannibal, the one who's supposed to be solid, already looks shady. He asked Reggie where he was staying. He dismissed the idea that they were being watched. And now Reggie's walking around with a gun, talking about how someone tried to set him up and whoever lied is going to die. There's no way he doesn't suspect Candace too. Because from Reggie's point of view, the timing is too perfect. He moves into her place and suddenly everything starts going sideways. Even if Candace is innocent, Reggie won't give her the benefit of the doubt, not in this game. And here's the worst part. Candace might not even realize how deep she's getting pulled into all this. Alicia doesn't play fair. She doesn't give people the full story. So even if Candace thinks she's just feeding Alicia a little information, it could lead to something catastrophic. One wrong word could get Reggie killed or could get Candace labeled a traitor. And Reggie doesn't forgive. He doesn't forget. So now Candace is walking a knife's edge. Help Alicia and risk losing Reggie. Stay loyal to Reggie, and Alicia might destroy her. There is no safe option. And in a world where alliances change by the second, Candace might not survive this episode. If Alicia is truly launching a full-blown revenge mission, she'll want to cut off every person close to her target hand. That includes Candace. Which makes you wonder, what's Candace really thinking? Is she scared? Is she tempted by the money? Or has she already made her choice and started playing both sides? Because if she has, then she just painted a target on her own back. And either Reggie or Alicia will take the shot. What makes it worse is that Candace isn't the only one in danger. If Reggie thinks there's a mole in his inner circle, he might start cleaning house. That means Hannibal, Candace, maybe even Tucson. No one's safe, and Reggie doesn't make warnings. He makes examples. So when he says someone's going to die for lying to him, believe it. He's not bluffing. The Chi is no longer just about drama, it's about survival. And episode 11 is shaping up to be a full-on bloodbath. Betrayal is in the air, trust is broken, and revenge is the only language anyone seems to understand. The choices these characters make now will define them forever. There's no going back. There's no forgiveness. Only consequences. So if you're not ready, you better get ready. Because once the truth starts spilling, there's no telling who will be left standing. Now let's shift the spotlight to one of the most emotional and complicated characters in the game right now. Meet for a moment. Step away from the bullets and betrayals, and you'll see something just as dangerous brewing inside him. Fear, desperation, and confusion. In the last episode, we saw Emmett hit a personal low. His proposal to Kesha didn't go the way he planned, and honestly, it wasn't even romantic. It was rushed, panicked, and came from a place of fear. Fear of losing her, fear of losing control. And Kesha saw right through it. She knew this wasn't about love or timing or building a future. It was about trying to hold on to something that's already slipping through his fingers. And when she said no, it shattered him. But here's where things get real. Emmett's not just dealing with heartbreak, he's also facing the fact that the world around him is falling apart. People are getting shot, secrets are destroying families, and even his safe space, his relationship's under threat. That's why Jada, his mother, stepped in. She knows her son better than anyone. And even though she supported Keisha's decision not to say yes, she didn't want Emmett to give up. She gave him her wedding ring. That wasn't just a sweet gesture. It was her telling him, next time, do it right. Be ready. And that moment hit hard. Because Emmett has always wanted to be the man who steps up. But wanting something and being ready for it are two very different things. And now, in the trailer for episode 11, we see Jada and Emmett having another heart-to-heart. She tells him they should leave Chicago, that it's getting too dangerous, that maybe the only way to survive this madness is to walk away from it. And honestly, she's not wrong. But at the same time, walking away isn't that simple. Kesha isn't someone who runs. She's been through hell and back. She was kidnapped, traumatized, changed forever, and she came out stronger. So, even though the idea of leaving sounds nice, it's not who she is. Her baby's father, Nuck, is still in Chicago. Her roots, her job, her fight-teats all here. And even though she loves Emmett, she's not going to uproot her life just because he's scared. Which brings us back to Emmett's biggest struggle, choosing between escape and growth. If he runs, he'll lose more than just his city. He'll lose Keisha's respect. But if he stays, he has to face everything he's been avoiding. His past, his mistakes, and the fact that love isn't something you beg for, it's something you build. And right now, that foundation is cracked. Emmett's also starting to realize that every decision he makes affects more than just himself. His kids are watching, Keisha's watching, and if he wants to earn her trust again, he's going to have to prove that he's not just reacting, he's ready to lead. That he's not just scared, he's strong. And that means making choices that aren't easy. So, what happens next? Well, the trailer suggests that Emmett is still torn. He wants a new start. He wants peace. But in a place like the Chi, peace comes at a price. And the people around him are either running from danger or walking straight into it. If Emmett leaves now, he risks looking like a coward. But if he stays and keeps repeating the same mistakes, he risks losing Kesha for good. This emotional tug-of-war isn't just romantic, it's deeply human. We've watched Emmett grow from a careless young man into someone trying to be a real partner, a real father. But now, that growth is being tested harder than ever. And it's not about whether he loves Keisha, it's about whether he can love her the right way, with patience, with courage, with consistency. Meanwhile, Keisha's got her own battles. She's trying to protect her son, hold down her job, and stay sane while everything around her is spinning out of control. So when Emmett brings up the idea of leaving Chicago, she's not thinking about fear. She's thinking about purpose, about whether leaving would be giving up or finally choosing peace. But let's be real, leaving the Chi isn't going to erase the trauma. It's not going to fix what's broken. The past will always follow you. And in a way, Kesha knows that better than anyone, which is why I don't think they're leaving. Not yet. Maybe not ever. They've come too far to run now. And while the trailer teases a potential escape, I think it's just another crossroads moment, a test, a choice. And like everything else in this show, there are no easy answers. What's clear, though, is that Emmett and Keisha's relationship is at its most fragile point. One wrong move, one more broken promise, and it could all fall apart. But if Emmett steps up, if he finally proves he's ready to be the man Kesha and their family need, then maybe, just maybe, they'll make it through this storm. But if not, then heartbreak might be the least of his worries. Because in the Chi, when your home starts to feel like a war zone, love alone isn't always enough to survive. And that truth might be the hardest one of all. Asterisk, while the personal relationships in the Chi are crumbling under pressure, there's something much darker creeping underneath it, all something that's about to explode. This show has always been about more than just street drama. It's about choices. About what happens when the line between right and wrong disappears. And that's exactly where episode 11 is headed, straight into the heart of betrayal. Now, if you've been watching closely, you'll know Reggie is no fool. He doesn't move without a reason. And when he talks, people listen. That scene in the trailer where he says, "Someone tried to set me up, and whoever's lying is going to die," isn't just a throwaway line, it's a threat backed by blood. Reggie has survived too much, lost too much, to let someone play him. And now, the paranoia is setting in. He's not just angry, he's hunting. And when a man like Reggie starts hunting, the streets get soaked in silence. So let's look at the suspects. Hannibal is clearly in the hot seat. From the second he brushed off Reggie's concern about being followed to the moment he casually asked for his location, he's been acting way too suspicious. And if Reggie's trap in the last episode really worked, if he caught someone slipping up, then Hannibal is already marked. But here's where things get tricky. Hannibal might not be the only one. Remember, Toussaint is now working with Alicia. He's giving her intel. He's suggesting using Candace. So the question is, was Toussaint ever really loyal to Reggie in the first place? Or has he been playing both sides the whole time? If Reggie finds out, he'll burn that bridge without blinking. And let's not forget, Alicia isn't just focused on revenge. She's smart, calculated. If she's using Toussaint and Candace to get to Reggie, it's because she already knows there's a crack in his inner circle. And that means she's watching, waiting for them to turn on each other so she doesn't have to lift a finger. That's the kind of enemy she is. And it's terrifying. But the true bomb here, the potential for all of these betrayals to collide, because let's say Hannibal is the mole. Let's say Reggie finds out and takes him out. That sends a message, no more second chances. But then what happens when Reggie starts looking at Toussaint or even Candace? The paranoia spreads. And once that happens, no one is safe. Not even Reggie. Because when you don't trust anyone, you don't just lose your crew, you lose control. And that's when your enemies strike. Alicia knows that she's not going to make a move until Reggie is isolated, vulnerable, paranoid, and off balance. And she's getting closer to that with every scene. What makes this even more intense is that Bakari is still sitting on the biggest truth of all: who really killed Rob. If he finally confesses and it all comes out that Nuck was behind it, that puts pressure on Nuck, on Reggie, on everyone connected to that crew. And that's when loyalties will start breaking like glass. Because nobody wants to go down with the ship. And you know what? That's the core of this episode. It's not just about revenge. It's about who's going to survive the fallout. Everyone is choosing sides now, and once episode 11 drops, there's no turning back. Reggie's world is collapsing and he doesn't even realize it yet. His trust is thin, his enemies are circling, and the people closest to him, they're either planning to betray him or already have. This is the turning point. This is where the chi sheds whatever peace it had left and steps fully into chaos. You've got Alicia with nothing to lose. You've got Reggie with everything to protect. You've got Bakari with the truth that could destroy them all. And you've got Candace caught between love and survival. That's a recipe for war. And it's all coming to a head in this next episode. It's not just one storyline anymore, it's all of them crashing together like a storm. The streets of Chicago aren't just dangerous, they're alive, breathing, watching, and when trust dies, everyone bleeds. There's something so eerie about how quiet things feel before the explosion. The trailer shows us just enough to feel that pressure, that silent countdown. And when the silence breaks, it won't be with words. It'll be with gunfire, betrayal, and heartbreak. So if you're watching episode 11 expecting things to calm down, don't. This isn't that kind of show. It never was. And this episode, it's going to prove it. As we brace ourselves for the Chi Season 7, Episode 11, one thing is crystal clear. There's no more room for second chances. Everyone's made their move, and now it's time for consequences. The lies, the secrets, the betrayals, they've all been stacking up, and now the weight is about to come crashing down. Bakari, once just a confused kid trying to survive, has become the centerpiece of Alicia's vengeance. He holds the truth about Rob's murder, and now the truth is burning a hole through him. There's no more running, no more hiding. In the trailer, when we see him say, "Somebody's going to kill me," he isn't being dramatic. He's being honest for the first time. He's realizing that silence can be just as deadly as the truth. He's been trying to stay loyal, trying to keep his head down, but the world around him is closing in. Nuck, who he once trusted, could turn on him in a heartbeat. Alicia, who once believed in him, now wants answers, and won't stop until she gets them. And no one is stepping in to protect him. Not Jake, not the crew, not even Reggie. But completely alone, and when you're alone in the Chi, you don't survive for long. But maybe, just maybe, Bakari's wake-up call isn't too late. Maybe he decides to finally come clean, to tell Alicia everything she's been dying to hear. But that decision, no matter how brave, comes with a price. If he tells the truth, Alicia will aim her gun at Nuck. And if Nuck goes down, the whole chain of power starts to break. Nuck isn't just a street player, he's connected, feared, protected. And exposing him means war. That's the domino effect no one is ready for. Alicia's revenge might start with one man, but it won't end there. It'll bleed into everything: Reggie's crew, the block, and even Emmett's quiet corner of the world. Nothing stays untouched in the Chi. Not anymore. Meanwhile, Reggie is spiraling. He's surrounded by shadows, unsure of who to trust. Hannibal's loyalty is cracking. Toussaint is whispering to Alicia and Candace. She's walking on the edge, pulled in by the promise of money, protection, maybe even freedom. But what she doesn't see is that she's not playing the game, she's being played. Alicia doesn't care about Candace's love life. She cares about leverage. And Candace is the perfect piece to use against Reggie. Once Reggie senses betrayal real or imagined, he won't hesitate. He never does. If he finds out Candace had even one conversation with Alicia, it's over. And the worst part is, it might not even be her fault. That's the kind of tragedy this show does best. Good people pulled into bad choices. And when bullets fly, the story doesn't wait for the innocent to explain. That's what makes episode 11 so terrifying. It's not just about who pulls the trigger, it's about who's standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that could be anybody. Emmett is trying to get out, but he's tied to this city, to Kesha, to everything they've built. And even though they're talking about leaving, there's this unshakable feeling that they won't make it out. Not because they don't want to, but because the Chi won't let them. Every time someone tries to find peace, the streets pull them back. Every dream is shadowed by a past mistake, a bad connection, a buried secret. And for Emmett, that shadow is not the same man tied to Rob's murder, the same man Alicia is hunting. If that truth surfaces, it doesn't just ruin Nuck, it ruins everything connected to him, including Kesha, including Emmett. So, as much as they want a fresh start, they may be running straight into a dead end. That's the genius and heartbreak of this show. Every action is layered, every decision echoes. And in episode 11, those echoes are going to turn into explosions. Someone's going to die. Maybe it's Hannibal. Maybe it's someone we're not even thinking about. But make no mistake, blood will be spilled. And it won't be random. It'll be personal, painful, permanent. Because this isn't just another episode. This is the moment everything changes, where loyalties collapse, masks come off, and survival becomes a brutal choice. No one's safe, no one's innocent, and no one leaves untouched. The Chi is about to tear itself apart, and episode 11 is the match that lights the fire.